Hello Internet, it's Nick here, and this evening I'm going to be looking at the brand new, I would say Netflix, it's actually not Netflix movie, Uncut Gems. The reason I quickly said that about Netflix is it came out last year under the production company of by A24. It's actually the largest grossing movie of theirs, and we recently got it on Netflix, so I just wanted to quickly put that in there. So it's been out for a while, it's been out since last year. A lot of critical acclaim and chatter has been, going around because of Adam Sandler and other elements of this movie. Firstly, let's look at the Adam Sandler. I usually say the sort of, elephant in the room kind of story. Sorry, Adam. I mean, he's apparently a really nice guy in real life, but if you keep producing trash movies, people are going to get irritated. The sad thing is these movies make money, or at least people are throwing money at you. I mean, Netflix has bought or had bought 7 movies, which he's already made with them, using his own production company. I forget the name of it, some silly name like Gilmore Fun Club, I don't know. And apparently they've just given him another 4 movies, so yay us. The reason I get frustrated with him is because, as I said, working with A24, another production company, he was phenomenal in this movie. Absolutely fucking brilliant. Interestingly, he was approached first and he turned the role down. And Jonah Hill was then approached. And I was like, just learning about that, I'm quite glad that he quit. And then Adam Sandler came back and said, sure, he'll do the role. And that's probably in part because the script is phenomenal. And yeah, I mean, wow. The directors, as I just mentioned now, Josh and Benny Safdie, these are brothers, are known for creating movies which are very anxious or high in anxiety. So when I was chatting with my one friend after I'd watched it, I was talking about the cinematography, it's done by Darius Konji. I think he's Iranian French or something like that. This guy has got skills with a Z. And I say that because it's very difficult to film in small spaces. I mean, this is a tiny little, flat living room. As a matter of fact, I had to start this again because the next neighbor's fire alarm went off. So just forget about that. But I mean, just filming in small spaces is difficult because of lighting. You've got reflections to worry about. You've got cables to worry about, and where you can put the boom and sound equipment, reflective lights, sources, all that kind of thing. And this is the majority of the 2-hour movie is filmed indoors, and in particular in a jeweler's, which is basically where Howard, who is our character, Adam Sandler plays Howard, lives and breathes and works. And the way the camera goes around people to build this anxiety, or this anxious sort of push, is brilliant, because you can imagine what's going on behind the camera while the actors are still, and they're all phenomenal actors in this. I'm just going to really focus on Adam in this because, I mean, wow. And it really ratchets up the terror, I suppose. I mean, it's a dark comedy thriller. There are elements of comedy in this. I mean, he gets thrown into a trunk and sort of made to strip naked because of what his brother-in-law is basically doing. He's basically a loan shark, his brother-in-law. I'll quickly give you a breakdown of what the story is. The movie starts in 2010, basically in Ethiopia, with Jewish Ethiopian miners, and they find this opal, this black opal. It's about yay big. And it's basically still inside the rock, but there's a couple of little chunks that have been taken out that you can look into and see that the thing's worth a lot of money. So Howard is told it'll be about, if you go to auction, he'll probably make about $1 million, which is just as well because he's a complete gambler. He's a complete gambling addict, and he owes a lot of money, as I said, to his brother-in-law, and among other people. You see, the problem is that he bets on everything. At the beginning, a very large NBA player comes in. I'm sorry, Barnett, I think it is, and he wants to buy the opal, and basically Howard says no because he's not going to get enough money for it. He lends it to Barnett, who then goes and he gives him his ring, his NBA ring. What is the first thing that Howard does? He pawns the damn thing. You see, he pawns everything. He basically pawns it and hopes to win the money back. In this case, he actually put all the money that he basically pawns the ring and gets the cash and puts it all down on Barnett, hoping that the NBA player using the garnet would, sort of have luck and win. He actually does win and makes him a lot of money. Sadly, the brother-in-law intervenes and cancels the bet. And this is what happens in this movie. It's just a roller coaster of ups and downs for Howard. One moment you think he's making it, the next moment he's being kicked to the curb. Then he's making it, he's being kicked to the curb. And Adam Sandler does such a great job of straddling this line of being a very irritating character, because he's a dick. The character of Howard is not a nice guy. He's estranged from his wife, who I believe is going to actually tell the family that they're getting divorced after Passover. He has a mistress who has her own flat, who he actually works with, as one of the girls that he works with. And of course the wife knows this, but he's also a really good father. He loves his kids, even though the kids kind of, think he's a dick. And he gets into these situations that make your skin crawl. And the reason I say it makes your skin crawl is because he barks very loud. He's not a big dog. He doesn't have big muscles and guns and stuff like that. But he swears in the face of gangsters who do have guns and things, because I don't know, he's just a bit of a maniac, I suppose. And you go through this movie and you see in all these different situations him really trying hard to get out, and he does. He's got the gift of the gab, he lies, he's sneaky, and wow, you come to an ending. I'm not going to tell you. You come to an ending and you're just like, holy shit. I mean, this is a movie that you will go, oh my god, at least twice, maybe 3 times. And that's why people with, I don't know, anxiety issues might not appreciate it as much as people who don't. Because as I say, this is just one of those awkward, it ratchets up the anxiety through camera work, which is phenomenal, as I said to you. Thank you very much, Darius. And the directing is brilliant by his brothers as well. But also at the same time, he is so socially naive to our world. I mean, he's living in New York in the gem district, diamond district, where you are expected to act a certain way. So when you're swearing at people, you're dropping the N-word all the time and all this kind of stuff. To us as viewers, we are not accustomed or climatized to that, and so it makes us feel very like when we're watching it, and then compounded by the cinematography and of course the score, which is absolutely brilliant. You have a movie which is, I think, sitting on 98% or 92%, sorry, on Rotten Tomatoes. Not that is by any means a good barometer of whether a movie is worth watching or not. I think IMDb, which is on, 80 out of 10, is far better than that. But I mean, myself, I would give this a 9 out of 10 because it's just beautifully made and beautifully, everything is done so well. And that why it really grates me that Adam Sandler doesn't do more movies like this, because the guy, I mean, this is thespian level shit that you're watching here. This is not Happy fucking Gilmore. The guy is a good actor, and he just doesn't seem to want to put himself into very heavy roles like this. Maybe it's just easier making a shovelware movie, and that's what I think he does. He makes shovelware movies. Netflix pays him probably $50 million a piece, and why not? I mean, if you don't have to work your ass off to get into the head of Howard, why you don't have to, I suppose. So yes, I'd really highly recommend it to everyone. Go and watch it. It is a heavy movie. It's quite bloody as well in certain cases, but I think you'll get a lot out of it. I mean, it's a movie that I've been thinking about for the past 4 days, and when I think about it more, I'm thinking more and more and more about it. That, if you look at there's even a visual thing. I'm not going to break that down because that would be a bit of a spoiler, but the garnet, or the opal, sorry, is kind of who he is. He is a sort of metaphor, a personification or a metaphor of the garnet. That there is, beauty and all that kind of crap inside, but unfortunately he's covered by earth. It's rock. It doesn't look great, but inside it is the diamond. So I think that's kind of what the metaphor is of this movie. Is that people do many things that might not look really great, but inside they might be sincere. They might have a lot of love in them, and that's why I think it's really worth watching. That's to say, it keeps coming back and haunting me. So yes, an absolutely brilliant movie. 9 out of 10. Please do go and watch it. Let me know what you think in the comments section. Catch you guys later.